start lying down. Any comfortable position for you. All right. So taking a moment here to notice what's going on in your mind. Are there any thoughts going on in your mind that you don't need? Any thoughts about your day? Perhaps things you wish to or need to accomplish later. Any kind of negative self-talk that's been happening here in your mind. Whatever's there, acknowledge it. We're not going to push it away. We're just going to place it to the side for now. You can always come back to it later if you wish. If at the end of the practice it's still calling for you. Or maybe you just allow it to go. I'm taking a moment here to scan your body, maybe starting from the crown of your head and moving down. Noticing in any part of your body that may be calling out for your attention. Maybe it's tightness somewhere, an old injury acting up, a headache beginning. Or maybe there's nothing going on. Maybe it's just a tingling somewhere. Just notice. And with every exhale, maybe you try to soften that area. Maybe you send love and compassion to that part of you, or whatever you feel like you need. I have these Buddhism cards, and I pulled one earlier. This card is called Pure Speech. Happiness comes when your words are pure, bringing about kindness and benefits to yourself and others. The words that you use are like seeds you have chosen to plant in the garden of your heart and the world. You have the power to destroy yourself and poison the world around you, or more importantly, you have the power to plant beautiful flowers. So, what kinds of things can you say to yourself during our practice that are kind and compassionate rather than not so kind, not so compassionate? Right, let's take some small movements here in fingers and toes. Rolling around wrists and ankles. Taking a big stretch. All right, and then whenever you're ready, we're going to place both feet on the earth. Feet are about hip distance apart, knees are bent. So we're going to start with a reclined figure four. We have a standing figure four coming in today, so we'll prepare for that. So crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, activating the right foot. So maybe you stay here and you push the right thigh away from you. Or perhaps you draw your legs in closer to you, grabbing a hold of the left leg somewhere. So we want to keep that right foot active. So just slightly curling back the toes. This protects the knee. And be nice and gentle here. Only go as far as you comfortably can. This is the beginning of our practice. Be interesting to see what this feels like at the end of our practice. Softening your shoulders. Softening your jaw. Finding one more round of breath here. And then gently lowering that left foot to the earth. And we're just going to switch over to the other side, activating the left foot, crossing it over the right thigh. And find whatever variation of this pose feels good for you on this side. So as we go through our practice today, remember to listen to your body. Only do what's comfortable for you. If we come into a pose that doesn't feel right, please come out. Come into any resting posture that feels right, and then join us again when you're ready. So let's find one more round of breath here. And then gently lowering the right foot to the earth and uncrossing both legs. We'll come into a happy baby pose. So both feet come up towards the sky, knees are bent out towards the sides of the body, grabbing a hold of either the backs of the thighs, maybe lower legs somewhere, or the feet. Softening the shoulders once again. Take a moment here to contemplate what words you can say to yourself throughout this practice, words of kindness, seeds that you can plant. Maybe it can be something as simple as, I am enough. I am doing my best. It's just yoga. It's just movement. All right, let's find one more round of breath here. And then releasing the feet to the earth. Rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then slowly making your way up to seated. So finding any comfortable seated position here. Could be legs crossed, maybe legs are out. And let's find some shoulder rolls. On your inhale, shoulders roll up towards your ears. And on your exhales, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Just moving at your own pace with your own breath. And just a reminder, this is where we want our shoulders to be, back and down the spine. Anytime our arms are up overhead, or we have our hands on the earth and we're placing weight into our hands. So one more time here. All right, let's find a tailor pendulum swing. So we'll place the right hand on the earth, left palm faces up, allowing the left arm to reach up and over, softening the left shoulder down. And this right arm can move away as far as you feel comfortable, as long as both hips stay on the earth. On your next inhale, coming back to center, and exhale, moving over to the other side. Feeling length here along the right side of your body. Let's do that one more time in each direction, inhaling to center and exhaling over. Inhaling to center and exhaling over. Inhale, coming back to center. All right, and then we're gonna release the cross of our legs here and bringing both feet out long. We're gonna activate both feet and just find a forward fold here. So finding your sit bones, that comfortable place to sit. So you're sitting up nice and tall, activating both feet. Inhale, let's reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hinging from the hips, coming forward with a flat back. Hands come down wherever's comfortable. Feet stay active. Let's find one more round of breath here. And then slowly coming back up. All right, so our seated figure four. We'll place the right ankle over the left thigh, activating the right foot. So you're going to go just as far as you feel comfortable. Try and keep a nice straight spine. And then perhaps you slowly place that left foot to the earth. The closer you draw it in, the more of a stretch you will feel. If it's hard to get the foot to the earth, I can't see what you're all up to. If it's hard to get the foot to the earth, maybe you lean back a little bit in order to get that foot there. All right, let's find one more round of breath. And then slowly allowing that left foot to come out, uncrossing the legs. Maybe you give them a shake. And then we're going to come over to the other side. So left ankle over right thigh, activate the left foot. Sitting up nice and tall, draw that right foot to the earth. Let's find one more round of breath. And then gently releasing that right foot. Take it. I can't talk today. Release the legs, give them a shake. All right, guess what? We're going to come right into our boat pose. So in the boat pose, what we want to try and do is not lean back too much. So the more we lean back, the more pressure we put onto the tailbone. So find your sit bones, finding that place where you can sit up nice and tall, the bony part of the butt. We're going to place both feet on the earth. And then it's up to you how far you want to go today. Maybe it's just one foot up off the earth, maybe both. Squeeze the inner thighs, sitting up nice and tall. Maybe the arms come forward. Perhaps you straighten the legs. Find one more round of breath here. And then perhaps you cross the ankles, come into seated, and then right over into a tabletop pose, or however you need to get into tabletop. All right, from tabletop, gripping both fingers into the earth, cupping your hands, imagining there's a ladybug underneath. You don't want to squish the ladybug. Let's curl the toes under, send the hips up and back behind you, downward dog. So again, shoulders roll back and down the spine, and take as much of a bend in your knees as you need here. Maybe you pedal out your feet. Let's take one more round of breath. And then shifting your weight forward into a plank pose. Shift forward just a little bit more. Drop the knees if you haven't already. Tuck the elbows and lower to the earth. Let's find a baby cobra, hands under the shoulders. Shoulders roll back and down. Tuck the elbows. Tops of the feet push down to the earth. Look down at the earth as you lift the heart. Lowering back down to the earth. And then either reverse push up or tabletop. Downward dog. Let's come into a three-legged dog. Right foot reaches up towards the sky. We want to send the toes down, not send the toes, point the toes down towards the earth. So imagine rotating that inner thigh up towards the earth. All right, let's shift our weight forward, tuck the knee in towards the chest, and then try and step the right foot through, however you need to get there. We'll come into a low lunge, left knee to the earth. Squeeze the inner thighs to rise. Check to make sure the front knee's over the ankle, in line with the second or third toe. Let's bring the left hand down to the earth underneath the shoulder. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. Right hand comes down towards the earth. We'll come into tabletop and into downward dog. Shifting your weight forward into your plank. Then shift forward a little more, drop the knees, tuck the elbows lower. Let's find a Sphinx pose or baby cobra if you need to stay there. In our Sphinx, forearms to the earth, elbows underneath the shoulders. Reach both legs back behind you and place your feet on the earth. And we want to roll the shoulders back and down the spine, push into the arms to lift the heart. Right, lowering all the way to the earth. And either reverse push up or tabletop, downward dog. Three-legged dog, other side. Left foot reaches up towards the sky, point the toes down. Try not to lock out the elbows, gripping the fingers into the earth. Shifting your weight forward, knee comes towards the chest, round the spine, and then try and step the left foot through. Again, however you need to get it there. Come to a low lunge, right knee to the earth. Squeezing the inner thighs to rise. Again, checking that front knee over the ankle in line with the second or third toe. Sink and settle here into this pose, feeling the stretch along the front of the right thigh. Hand down twist, right hand comes underneath the right shoulder, turning towards the left side, left hand reaches up towards the sky. Try not to collapse in on the right hand. I know it's a habit I have. All right, left hand comes to the earth. Let's come into tabletop, into downward facing dog. Walking both feet up towards the front of your mat. Forward fold. So softening the upper body, maybe you allow the arms to dangle. Maybe you grab a hold of opposite elbows, releasing any tension you feel here in your neck. Somehow I ended up backwards on my mat. And then let's bring our hands to our hips, lengthen the spine, and then come on up with a flat back. So finding your mountain pose near the top of your mat, feet are hip distance apart. Squeezing the inner thighs. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Palms face forward. Crown of the head reaches high. All right, inhale, reaching up, extended mountain. Exhale with a flat back, swan diving down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins or thighs, nice flat back. And exhale to fold. Let's take a big step back here with the right foot. We're going to come into warrior one. So the toes point up towards the top right corner of the mat. Nice wide stance here, right foot to the right side, left foot to the left, allowing the arms to reach up towards the sky. So we want to square our hips towards the front of the room or front of the mat. So left hip rolls back, right hip rolls forward. Checking the front knee, warrior one. And our humble warrior. So it's up to you. If it's comfortable, clasping your hands behind your low back, rolling the shoulders back and down the spine. If that's not comfortable, maybe you grab a hold of opposite elbows, or maybe hands come to your hips. So inhale, let's lengthen the spine up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips towards the inside of the left leg. Arms come up towards the sky if you can. Soften the shoulders, but roll them away from the ears. Soften the neck, still bending into that front knee. All right, let's come on up with a flat back if you can. Come back into your warrior one. And then we're going to come into goddess pose. So turning both feet so that they're pointing up towards the top corners of your mat. Nice wide stance here. Sitting down and then finding a slight tuck of the tailbone, send the knees over top of the ankles, try and get them in line with the second or third toe. We have our cactus arms here in our goddess pose. We're going to find a little bit of a flow. So bringing the right forearm to the right thigh, left arm reaches up and over, kind of like if we were coming into a side angle. Inhale, come back to cactus arms. And exhale, coming over to the other side. Let's do that one more time, each side. Inhale, cactus, maybe you sit a little lower. And exhale, right forearm to right thigh. Woo, inhale, back to cactus. Exhale, left forearm to left thigh. Inhale, come back to center. Let's straighten the legs, straighten the arms, star pose. And we're gonna windmill our hands towards the front of the mat. So you're spinning your feet forward, bending into the front knee, hands come down. Let's step back into a plank pose. Shift your weight forward, drop the knees, tuck the elbows and lower. So maybe it's baby cobra, Sphinx pose, or full cobra. Full cobra, hands come back by the lower ribs, shoulders roll back and down the spine, tops of the feet push into the earth and lift. Slight micro bend in the elbows, shoulders roll away from the ears. All right, let's lower to the earth and either reverse push-up or tabletop, downward dog. So walk, step, or hop both feet towards the front of the mat. Forward fold. And on your next inhale, arms come out to the side. Reverse swan dive up into extended mountain. Soften the shoulders. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, flat back, swan diving down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. So warrior one on the other side, left foot takes a big step back, toes point up towards top left corner of the mat. Wide stance. Squeezing the inner thighs to rise. Check the front knee. So we want to soften the shoulders. Oops, sorry. Send the tailbone down towards the earth. Okay. And then let's find our clasp behind us once again to come into a humble warrior. Whatever you found before, find the opposite of that clasp. So whichever hand or arm is in front becomes the one behind. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Find length in your spine, hinging from the hips towards the inside of the right foot. Soften the neck. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Notice what's going on in your mind. What are you saying to yourself? Can you say something that is maybe helpful rather than hurtful? All right, let's see if we can come up with a flat back. Release the arms back up towards the sky. We're going to find our goddess pose one more time. Toes point out towards the corners of the mat. Have a seat. Tuck the tailbone. Send the knees back. Let's find a variation here in the arms. So let's bring the forearms together. So we've done this before the last few classes with eagle, instead of eagle arms, bringing the forearms together, hands away from the face. And if you can, elbows come up to shoulder height. Sit down a little further in your goddess pose. One more breath. All right, reach up towards the sky, straighten the legs, star pose. Again, we're windmilling our hands, turning our feet towards the front of the mat. Hands come down to the earth. Step back into your plank pose. Shift forward, drop the knees and lower. All right, you find your back bend of choice. Wherever you are, shoulders roll away from the ears. All right, releasing all the way down to the earth. And either reverse push up or tabletop, downward dog. Right foot reaches up towards the sky. Shift the weight forward, send the right foot through. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shift our weight into the right foot. We're gonna try and come up without placing the left foot beside the right. So shift forward to the right foot, pick up the left, draw the knee in close towards you, and then coming up to standing, send that left foot forward. We're gonna activate the left foot, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. If this doesn't happen, if it doesn't work for you in your body, find tree instead. Foot comes to anywhere on the side of the leg except the knee. All right, ready? We're gonna sit down like we're sitting into a chair. Arms come up towards the sky. Send the hips back, slight tuck of the tailbone. Standing figure four. Finding one more round of breath here. And then releasing, standing up, release both feet to the earth, come into mountain. Maybe you shake out the right foot. Finding mountain pose. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, swan diving down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. I invite you to walk, step, or hop both feet back into a plank pose. Let's drop the knees into tabletop and back into child's pose. So if your head doesn't come all the way to the earth, I invite you to find stacked fists underneath your forehead, melting the heart down. Pure speech. What can you say to yourself in this moment? All right, let's come back into our tabletop pose. Curling the toes under, sending the hips up and back behind you, downward dog. This time, left foot reaches up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Shift your weight forward, sending the left foot through, or however you need to get it there, right? Okay, we're gonna come up to standing on the left side. So shifting your weight into your left foot. Right knee comes in towards the chest, and then see, whoops, if you can come up to standing without having to use a wall to catch you like I did. Right knee comes forward. Activate the right foot. Crossing the right ankle over the left thigh or find tree. Arms reach up towards the sky. Sit back into your chair, slight tuck of your tailbone. So I didn't offer this on the other side, but if you want, you can find a little bit more challenge by bringing the hands down towards the earth in front of you. And then you can always come into a toe stand if you want. Problem is coming out for this one for me. So toe stand, you shift all the way down onto the left toes. Both hands are not coming up. All right, wherever you are, we're gonna come back up to standing. Release your legs, uncross them, maybe give your legs a shake. Finding mountain pose. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, flat back swan, diving down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. This time, exhale, sit back into a chair. Send the tailbone down, lift the heart. We're gonna come down onto the earth. So either follow me or come down to seated. Slowly coming down, sending the hips down. Try not to touch the earth with the hands. Allow the hips to come down. Guess what? Right into a boat pose. Any variation that feels good for you. Sitting up nice and tall. All right, and then if you can, clasping the hands out in front of you, send the hands over towards the left side, turning the body towards the left, the upper body, sorry. Inhale back to center and exhale, turning the body towards the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release the hands, and can you very, very slowly, as slow as you can, lower all the way down. Take your time. Use your core. Ha. All right, once you come down to the floor, let's bring both feet to the earth about hip distance, or sorry, mat distance apart, and windshield wiper the knees from side to side. All right, let's find a bridge pose and then we'll find our fish. In our bridge pose, feet come mat distance apart, not mat distance, I'm sorry, hip distance apart. Sorry, knees are bent, feet are as close to you as you possibly or comfortably can get them. We're going to push our feet into the earth, lift the hips, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the glutes. Either grabbing a hold of the edges of the mat to imagine pulling that mat apart, or if it's comfortable for you, rolling the shoulders underneath you. Maybe you clasp hands and send the hands down towards the earth if you can. Send the hips up higher. Find one more round of breath. And then slowly untuck the shoulders if they're underneath you and coming down. Nice and slow, hips to the earth. Take a moment to allow your back to settle here on the earth. If you feel discomfort in your low back, again, feet come wide on the mat, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. All right, I'm going to give you two options here for fish. So one is a supported variation if you have blocks or a pillow. I can show you with a bolster. And the other one is without any support. So if you have any kind of neck issues, I invite you to find one with support, variation. All right, so blocks. The way we do it with blocks is we set up one block higher than the other. So the higher block is going to come between the shoulder blades. And then the lower block is going to be where your head is going to go. So we come down onto the back, block between the shoulder blades. Top of the head, if you can, comes down to the block. Maybe shouldn't be wearing a ponytail, but anyway. All right, so if you can stay with knees bent or maybe legs come out long. If you want to come into a variation with a pillow, you're basically just going to come onto the pillow so that your head comes down towards the earth. If you have a blanket, you can always place the blanket underneath. All right, so unsupported fish pose, I guess you can call it. We're going to come down onto our backs, feet to the earth. And then you slide the hands underneath your hips. And then what we want to do is we want to try and tuck the arms under as much as we can. So forearms are going to come to the earth. Straightening the legs. All right. So we look up at our toes. See if you can bring those forearms to the earth. Look at the toes, and then stay up on the forearms. Slowly drop the head back. Top of the head comes down to the earth. Doesn't even have to come all the way. We don't want to put weight into it. If you need to come out early, be sure to look at your toes first and then slowly lower down. So taking deep inhales here. Long, slow exhale. All right, so wherever you are, you're gonna pick up the head, look at your toes, slowly rolling off of your props or coming to seated or rolling down depending on where you are in your pose, however you comfortably can get out. And then let's come down onto the back. All right, a twist. We're gonna find a figure 4 twist. That's part of our theme today. So right ankle crosses over the left thigh, activate the right foot. And then allowing the legs to drop over towards the left side. Maybe that right foot comes to the earth. Maybe it doesn't. If this doesn't feel good for you, feel free to restack your legs into any variation of a twist that feels good. Softening the shoulders down towards the earth. If it's in your body, activate the right foot. Reach down for the right ankle with the left hand and gently pull that foot in a little closer. Perhaps the right hand reaches for the left foot. Softening the hips. Softening the shoulders. Softening your jaw. Let's take deep inhales in through the nose, into the diaphragm, if that's comfortable. And then long, slow exhales out through the nose, if you can. I know it's allergy season. All right, finding one more round of breath. Releasing your feet if you have them, if you're holding them, not if you have them. We all have feet. Let's bring our legs back to center. Uncrossing the legs and then recrossing the other direction, left ankle over right thigh. Activate the left foot and allowing the legs to drop over towards the right side. So again, find a variation that feels right for you here. Maybe it's a different twist. Connecting to your breath. With every exhale, softening, especially in the shoulders, in the hips, and in the jaw. Finding one more round of breath here. Letting go of your feet. And then coming back, allowing the legs to come back to center, uncross the legs. Is there anything else that your body is asking for? Any other movement? Maybe it's a yoga shape, maybe it's not. And if not, coming right down into Shavasana or any final resting pose lying on the earth. If you are finding another shape in your body, finishing up where you are or finding the other side. And then finding a comfortable place on the earth. Lowering and closing your eyes. Notice if you're holding tension in your forehead, around your eyes, relaxing and softening here. Softening your jaw. allowing your shoulders to sink down towards the earth, relaxing your hips. Pure speech. Happiness comes when your words are pure, bringing about kindness and benefit to you and others. Do you know what kind of world you are shaping for yourself and the people around you? Every day, you use words that shape your world and announce your intentions and desires. When you use harsh language with yourself and the people around you, or you intentionally hurt or belittle yourself or other people, are you truly free in speech? Or are you simply caught up in the commotion of anger, hatred, and unworthiness? The words you use are like seeds you have chosen to plant in the garden of your heart and in the garden of the world. You have the power to destroy yourself and poison the world around you, or more importantly, you have the power to plant beautiful flowers. When practicing purity of speech, you are aware of the consequences that your speech will bring about, and you are willing to take full responsibility to create pure and kind words that benefit you and other people. You have the courage to examine the motivations behind your speech by asking, is it true? Is it inspiring? Is it helpful? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Knowing your motivation behind your speech and reflecting before you speak are the main daily practices of purity of speech. These practices will free you as you use words that are truthful, kind, and conductive to harmony, which in turn brings yourself peace and happiness and builds a better world. What kind of words can you say to yourself in this moment? I am enough. I have enough. And I do enough. What words do you need to hear? Only you know what they are, so only you can say them to yourself. As you say these words to yourself, perhaps imagine them like seeds and planting each seed into your heart. Allowing yourself to feel these words, feel the intention behind the words. If you need to, maybe you imagine saying them to someone that you love and care for unconditionally. Notice the sensations that come up in your body. Can you send even just that feeling to yourself? Maybe you allow whatever you feel in your body as you say these words or feel this feeling, allow it to spread through your body. Allow it to move into every cell of your being. And then gently bringing your awareness back into your space. Maybe finding some small movements in your fingers and toes. Perhaps you rock your head from side to side, finding any movements that feel good for you here. Then, whenever you're ready, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then slowly making your way up to seated. And once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. And then I invite you to bring your hands to heart center, bringing your hands up to your forehead and maybe saying to yourself, may my thoughts be pure. Bringing your hands to your mouth, may my words be pure. Bringing your hands to your heart, may my heart be pure. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful evening.